Hi, my name is Syahirah binti Abu Bakar. My metric number is 264890 and I am from Group 1. Today, my group and I want to present the speech analysis in the title of Anne Hathaway on International Women's Day. The question given to us is 12 in total and I will cover on question 1 and question 2 and the rest of it will be covered by my group member. So for question 1, how does the speaker gain attention and interest of the audience? So based on the video, we analyze that the speaker does audience interest at the beginning of her speech. She did tell the audience about her background, which also brings the audience an image of her story's flashback memories. She also put some jokes on her speech in 41 seconds, where she told the audience that his father kept asking her which way is north. And some audience chuckles after that, which shows that they felt entertained about that. Putting a joke in a speech is not essential, but it can attract the audience to eager to hear more and avoid the audience feel boring during the speech. Furthermore, the speaker also gains attention and interest from the audience by saying about gender stereotype, which put the position of a caregiver always on a woman, but why not a man, in 4 minutes and 23 seconds. The audience clapped their hand, which shows that they are paying attention and agreed with what she said. The speaker also gained the audience attention by asking all the men there about how much time they have spent with their children in 6 minutes and 15 seconds. Nowadays, the men is too busy with their work until they forgot about the time to spend with their children. So she asked them to give them awareness about how important to spend time with their family. Asking a question to the audience during the speech is good as it can make the audience engage with the speaker, and at the same time, the speaker does create a connection with the audience. By doing that, information of the speech will be delivered successfully to the audience. Next, we move to the question number 2, which is, does the speaker establish his or her credibility? What type of credibility has she used? So from the video, the speaker does establish her credibility by convincing the audience and told them about her experience be as a parent for the first time and how she arranged herself during the maternity period in 1 minute and 27 seconds. It is to make the audience know that she also had experienced the same thing. Then, she established her credibility by confidently providing the audience with her research on the data from an international men and gender equality survey, which shows that if the man has the opportunity to work less, they would do that as long as they can spend more time with their children in 5 minutes and 30 seconds. She also confidently provides her suggestion to the company to step up and paid parental leave to the worker. During her speech, she looks intelligent as she has full knowledge about what she is present with. She also provides her opinions about the reality that happens nowadays, which is many of the men nowadays are so busy with their work and not have much time with their family. Here, we can see that the speaker has confidence while she speaks about her opinion, which means the audience will believe all her saying as she looks so confident while presenting. The audience will automatically know whether the speaker has a lack of confidence or not while they are presenting with the speech. If the speaker lacks confidence during their speech, the audience is also not confident to believe what they are hearing. Since she is a famous actor, so obviously she has that kind of confidence while also talking on the vibe that can attract the audience to believe all her saying. To be a credible speaker, the speaker needs to have sincerity and need to look intelligent while giving a speech. We could say that she has successfully established her credibility in the middle of her speech. So the type of credibility that she has is derived credibility. Okay, that's all from me. So we move to the next question by my group member. So thank you.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is RABIATUL binti SULIMAN, metric number 263466. So I will continue with the question number 3, which is what is the main point of this speech and how they were supported. So we got 2 main points in this speech. The first main point is main point in this speech is the issues about unpaid parental leave, and the second main point is about discrimination against women. So, the main point were supported when the speaker is mentioning about the US policy and maternity leave. It is stated that 1/4 of American women go back to work after only 2 weeks they giving birth because they cannot afford or they cannot manage more time than that because they must go to work to gain money to run their household and take care of their children. So after that, the speaker also said about the general practice or common belief about the society against women or a girl that they must looking for the family and home as the stereotype against women. All the what is it this general practice also limited the man's involvement and relationship against family and society. It means that the girl or woman must take care of the family and stay at home, and the man must go to work. So it is limited their relationship after that. But this general practice also leading to continuous barriers against women to achieving their equity and empowerment. After that, I will go to question number 4, which is what is the organization that the speaker used in this speech. So the organization that the speaker used in this speech is Problem Solution Order. Problem Solution Order is divided into 2 parts, which is the first part is stating the seriousness of the problem, and the second part is stating about the solution to the problem. So, starting off the speech, the speaker came out with the issues about the working woman must go back to working women must go back to work after they give birth because they cannot get paid leave. After that, the speaker also pointed out about the discrimination that happens against women. So, the speaker is justifying this problem by stating that the American woman entitled to 12-week unpaid maternity leave, but the men are entitled to nothing. So, she said, but after that, in addition, she also said that the assumptions against women that they are commonly looking after the family and home. After stating the problems, the speaker came out with some solutions. So the first solution that she mentioned is that the UN will begin to take action to overcome this problem, such as they will give an equal leave to men and women. But this policy are still under review. So secondly, the speaker herself, the speaker mentioned that she herself will be active in making changes towards organization before it's turning to worldwide companies. And lastly, the speaker announced that by the year 2020. International company Danone has promised to offer 18 weeks natural paid parental leave policy for the company's employees, and it is involved around they will give to 100,000 employees. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Question number 5. How does the speaker use the resources of language? Explain. Language in general can be defined as the main way of people communicating and interacting between themselves, which contains words used in a structured way and delivered in a speech, writing, or even in a gesture form. In short, language is a system of communication used by people who belong to a particular community or country. In my point of view, the speaker, Han Hathaway, used language very clearly and effectively. Throughout the speech, she made sure that she used simple words and language, and she never used any bombastic words in a speech. This is to ensure that the audience could understand her intention throughout the speech. Using effective language is essential in delivering speech or even in our daily communication process.
because language has the ability to make our conversation and interactions easily and more understandable. This also can avoid misunderstandings and miscommunications between the speaker and the audience. Besides, using effective and simple language is essential in speech because the speaker will not know the background of the audience. The audience might have different background, like some might be educated, some might be uneducated, all peoples, and also might be children. So, in order to make sure that all the audience understand the speech, the speaker should use simple yet effective language. Apart from that, when choosing the language, the speaker should ensure that the language chosen is appropriate for the speaker itself, for the audience, topic, and also for the context of the speech.
So I will proceed with the question 6, which is the type of the connective. The speaker has used transition as one of the connective in the speech. The speaker used the transition to indicate movement from one complete thought to a new ideas, which help the debate flow smoothly. It may involve a short transition phrase, a single transition word, or sometimes a whole sentence. The speaker has effectively used the transition which show the speech flow arrangement with the connective in the video. The speech demonstrates by letting us honor the problem using a transition to a spotting example and transition to a spotting quotation. For instance, the speaker realized that her priority has changed when her newborn son is holding her hand. Thus, she wondered how she would balance her career and family since the statistics of the USS policy and the maternity leave flashed in her mind. Besides that, she also realized that pregnancy is about to feed another mouth at the home. Nevertheless, since the American country is living by using paycheck, how do the 12 weeks of unpaid leave become economically? By approaching the transition in the speech, the audience can easily follow the speaker flow. Secondly, the speaker also used internal preview in the speech. The internal preview indicates that what is going to happen in the next section of the speech. The sentence in which the speaker said that she was not good at finding its knot at the beginning, then she is better at finding the knot since her father keeps asking her till she can develop her sense of direction. Lastly, when she was an adult, she can trust her ability to navigate space. Besides the sentence that the speaker and her brother spend limited time with their father due to the workload, then the speaker goes deeper into the issue of parental leave, the connection between women's full equality and empowerment, men's role and caregivers, and lastly, the significant effect toward their children. Therefore, when the speaker gives a speech clearly and organized, the audience can clearly receive the message. Finally, the speaker also using an internal summary. An internal summary will help the audience remind the topics that have been discussed. From the sentence, which only American women have been entitled to have 12 weeks of unpaid leave, which they cannot afford to take a full 12-week leave due to the salary. Men are busy with work, which may lead to a lack of attention toward their children and become a cause that men and women do not want to be parents, which in the end, it may affect the growth of the child. Besides, the sentence when a policy becomes the new standard, the number of people growing, women demanded the right to vote and to take a step toward equality. The same gender marriage that passed in the US, the end of the discriminatory law, thus the world grow when we start to take a stand on it. Having a connective in a speech is essential since it can show the relationship between the point that the speaker will deliver to its audience.
Question number 7. Explain the speaker's voice during the speech. A speaker's voice can be analyzed in 8 different styles, which are volume, pitch, trait, vocalized pauses, vocal variety, pronunciation, articulation, and dialects. First and foremost, throughout in this video, the speaker portrays a soft voice. This is because she wants to get the audience attention on the issue she was delivering her speech. Then, moving on to the pitch of the speaker. The speaker's pitch throughout the speech was not consistent. Both low and high pitch were used by the speaker. For example, when the speaker was sharing about her experience with her dad, she used low pitch. Then the speaker increased her pitch when she was proudly informing the crowd about the beginning of parental leave in her own country. Then the rate, which is the which is the speed at which the speaker speaks, is consistent throughout the speech. Besides, the speaker in her speech does not use any vocalized pauses or momentary breaks like and in delivering a speech. This is because the speaker might be specialized and experienced in giving speech to a huge crowd, and she has no fear when delivering her speech. Moving on to the vocal variety, which is also known as the changes in rate, pitch and volume which give expressiveness to the speaker's voice. The speaker has delivered her speech in an expressive voice with a consistent change in the voice rate, pitch and also in a volume of voice. Pronunciation is one of the most important elements in analyzing the speaker's voice. In this speech, the speaker has used her native language with the accepted standard of sound and rhythm. In my point of view, the speaker said all the words in her speech with correct pronunciation. Saying words with correct pronunciation is important so that the misunderstanding and miscommunication can be avoided. Besides, articulation is also important in presenting a speech. Articulation here means clarity in producing the message which is intended to be delivered. In her speech, the speaker delivers with a good articulation where she was precise about the message which she was going to deliver to the audience. Lastly, the speaker uses the dialect which is familiar with the people around her. This is to ensure that her audience understand what she is going to talk in her entire speech. Question number 8. Explain the speaker's body during the speech. The speaker's body consists of 4 elements which are personal appearance, movement, gesture and eye contact. Firstly, personal appearance includes clothes, grooming and also facial expression. In my point of view, the speaker's personal appearance was perfect where she was well groomed, well dressed and she maintained a good facial expression throughout her speech. Facial expression is important in delivering a speech because it conveys countless emotions. Besides, no movement was shown by the speaker in her speech. This is because the speaker was standing in a static place and no movement was required during her speech. The next element of the speaker's body is the gesture. Gesture can be defined as the movement of the parts of body, mainly hand or the head, in order to deliver a message or idea. In my opinion, the speaker utilized the gestures correctly. For example, the speaker was not always looking at her text and reading it while she was always facing the audience at the same time. Then, the speaker also uses some hand gestures while delivering her speech. Lastly, the speaker maintains a good eye contact with her audience. Eye contact means the position where two people are aware of looking directly into one another's eye. By maintaining good eye contact, speaker can ensure that her audience are focusing on her speech. Finally, maintaining all these 4 speakers' body is essential in delivering speech. Thank you.
Question number 9. What kind of reasoning does the speaker rely most throughout the speech? The reasoning that the speaker depends most on is reasoning from principle. She moves from a general principle to a specific conclusion when reasoning from principle. The speaker makes the audience accept the general principle by starting her speech with a general statement saying that maternity pay leave is related to current challenges to women's freedom and equality. Then, she makes the audience accept the minor premise by saying that paid parental leave is about creating freedoms to define roles. Next, she ended it by saying that paid parental leave will let the parents spend more time with their children. The speaker relies most on the reasoning from principle in this speech by making the audience accept her general statement and minor premise.
Next is question 10, which is the type of emotional appeal that the speaker used in the speech. According to the video, pathos is used by the speakers to convince the audience by attracting to its emotion. She effectively used the emotional appeal because the viewer can feel the same sentiment on how the speaker feels. Speaker want to influence the audience by having an emotional connection with them. She is using storytelling to form an emotional connection. For instance, as speakers and her father, as the speakers become a parents for the first time, as her mother need to choose between the works and child, as women and men are not reasonably want to be mothers and father, as Shirley McCree
and may your build bless you. And Emma Watson delivered her speech. From the speech, the speaker said that I remember I had experienced the ability to sustain my love at the job and appreciate something like many parents was going to balance job and at the same time become a parent. Besides, 25% of American ladies merely troubling in having a father by taking a full 12 weeks of leave. They will have to bear a motherhood punishment which they may be considered dedicated to their current job or miss out an promotion and any other career advancement. According to BAKAR 2018, emotion is motivated in which the audience will convince and react to the speaker appeals. Pathos is more likely to enhance the audience opportunity in knowing the point of view, admitting the argument, and behaving on what has been requesting. The next question is, what is the method that used to prepare the audience for the ending of the speech? The speaker has applied a dissolved ending in the speech. She concluded that this speech showed an emotional request by fading step by step to a dramatic final statement. Women in America are eligible to receive 12 weeks of unpaid leave while men have nothing. However, unpaid leave or any work-related policy should not be based on gender. For instance, in the new world, some with two daddies in the family, how will they serve maternity leave? Therefore, parental leave should be given equal so that parents have time to dedicate themselves to their kids. By spending time, it can change the story of what the children observe and their imagination. Thus, the speaker used the dissolved ending because a crescendo ending builds to a zenith of power and intensity. Therefore, a crescendo ending is not suitable for the speech title which emphasizes empathy. That's all from me. Thank you.
Question number 12. How does the speaker reinforce the central idea? The speaker making a dramatic statement to highlight the central idea. She used pausing and inflection for greatest impact. She also gave a dramatic closing by giving her audience a valuable ending and a lasting impression. For example, the speaker said that every generation must discover its north. She also said that if women in this country and the other countries demanded the right to vote, a fundamental step towards gender equality could be taken. Then, the speaker added that when the legislation on same-sex marriage is introduced in the US, a discriminatory rule could be put to an end. After that, she adds her last word that the world expands when we stand up together because beyond the concept of the difference between men and women, there is a greater truth that love is love and parents are parents. The most creative approach in ending a speech is by being able to give a dramatic closing. It takes a lot of creativity, but it is worth the time and effort.